follow up with what Mike said. Do you agree with him that because it was Kyrie Irving saying it, if it had been any other player, anybody else on that team would have had such an impact or made that much of a difference?
If Horford said it, it might have had a huge impact, even more than Kyrie in a sense.
If Horford said because I'm here,
Horford can't say that. There's no other.
But that's the reason.
There's no other
we're
player
talking
can say
about
that.
this quote. It's because he said
because Kyrie said it. Because Kyrie has that right. He has proven himself in the league, in the NBA, on the Celtics. He has that bragging right to say something like that.
He's proven himself with the Cavs in the NBA. Yes, he needs to prove it now with the Celtics. This is a big year for Kyrie because last year this team went to the conference finals without him. If he doesn't take this team to the conference finals, all that talk we were having a couple weeks ago, if this team is better with or without Kyrie, now you put real fuel to it. Kyrie's came back from the All-Star break. You lost 2 games. So it's important for Kyrie now to say these things because that has to go through his head as well. I used to say something 2 years ago when we had the Isaiah Thomases, the Crowders and stuff.
Kelly Olynyk
and them. I used to say, this Celtics team can beat any team in the NBA. But any team can beat that Celtics team as well. They could beat the Golden States. They can beat, who was big, the Cavs and all that. But any team could beat them too. They could lose to the Orlando Magics or the Phoenix Suns. I'm not supposed to say that about this team. This team is supposed to be, okay, this Celtics team can beat any team in the NBA and won't lose to the bum-ass teams in the NBA. But somehow, some way, we're 50-something games into the year, they are losing to the Chicago Bulls. They are going to by double digits. At a point, they were losing by 25 points.
Oh, man,
they're losing, double-digit leads.
But the thing is, and it's crazy because, I know this is kind of getting away from Kyrie, but currently as we're, recording this show, they're taking on the Toronto Raptors. But they play well against the elite teams of the league. You saw how they played. They played against the Bucks. They continue to beat Philadelphia's ass every time they face them. They almost came. They came pretty close to beating Golden State when Golden State came to Boston. They played very well against, the big name teams. Now, maybe Kyrie is getting the sense that, yes, they're losing to these sucky Clippers and Bulls, but when you get to the playoffs and it's really time to lock in and you're facing those top 8 teams that are supposedly the best 8 teams in the conference, maybe he feels that, they have a chance to overcome these teams because, 1, he's on the team, and 2, they've showed throughout the course of the season that in the bigger games and the bigger matchups, they really show up. His confidence comes from various places, but
Do you think they just kind of dropped the ball with the Bulls then?
I think not only with the Bulls, with teams that are not up to the same skill level, it's a lack of hustle, intensity, confidence.
I was just gonna ask, but why is that? How is that you can beat an elite team, but when it comes to teams who are considered trash in the NBA, you drop the ball?
Some of the younger guys maybe take playing those. I think with veteran players, they know, like, all right, yeah, we can maybe coast to the playoffs a little bit, but let's get these wins to be in the right position. With some of these younger guys, I'm just saying maybe as a reason why this happens, maybe some of the younger guys don't take the games against the Bulls or the Clippers serious.
Because
I'm saying that maybe that could be a reason.
Right, but even if they're not producing, Kyrie was horrible in the Chicago game. Yes, he had 37 points, but 18 came like the last couple minutes.
That's just what he could do.
Kyrie was god-awful the first 3 quarters of the game. He's a veteran player. The best player since he's come back from his injury is Horford. Horford's been amazing. He's been great, and when you have a great Horford, this is the time when you're supposed to really start cruising, start going on these runs, and the team doesn't make sense. Yes, they can beat Toronto tonight, and then everyone's going to be like, okay, yay, Celtics play well against good teams. And then the next game, they'll drop a game against the Lakers or someone. And we all know the Lakers suck. I have to put that out there. So there's no consistency, and I just don't feel like you can be that confident going to playoffs and say, okay, we just went 50-50 in the last 20 games, and then boom, we can just flip it into the playoffs. I'm not that confident you can do that. You need to go into
especially not with this team.
Groove.
kind of the conversation that's come out recently is the whole flipping the switch idea. And the last team to really flip the switch, especially around these parts, I guess you could maybe say the Patriots, this past season, making their way to the Super Bowl after a kind of an average season, under their terms. But I go back to the Celtics in 2010. That team, I think, played .500 basketball the whole season. They got to the playoffs, and they marched their way to the NBA Finals to take on the Lakers. But that team was full of veteran players. So the whole flipping the switch...
And they were proven.
Exactly. The whole flipping the switch, conversation kind of made sense because, these players, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, KG, they could turn it on and make their way. This team, yes, maybe flip the switch because last season they had success, but nobody's really going to put too much stock into that because they haven't proven anything. Like you just said, they haven't proved that they're capable of having a lot of success other than Kyrie. He's the only one that has a championship under his belt.